So, dear Dhamma practitioners, we're going to start our session today. So, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. And let your whole body weight go down. And your neck, keep your neck head straight in one line. And focus your mind to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing. Let everything to settle down itself. And gently close your eyes, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in this meditation session, we mainly practice tranquility meditation and insight meditation. So, Samatha mental culture and Vipassana mental culture. So, in this both methods, as our primary mental object, we keep our inhalation, exhalation. And in Samatha meditation, in tranquility meditation, in Samatha mental culture, in the beginning, what we're trying to do, we're trying to make our mind usable. Remember, you can train your mind. So the mind has no permanent structure, solid pattern or the structure. It always follow whatever available. So in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, we used to abuse our mind by thinking. We never allow our mind to rest even for a single moment. If you look very carefully, you always like thinking. So what we think and desire base related to the achievement or to gain something or regarding a purpose, we always look for something. And mentally, we always try to reach to something. So it is a driving force that keep you move forward. That is happening because of the thinking. So that's why that sometimes you have no idea how to rest. And when you try to do it naturally, because the inbuilt the nature start to resist when you try to slow down. Because we always had a desire. It like our mind is always like the arrow release from the bow. It's kind of like unstoppable. It always in a journey. But still, you can let it settle down. If you start to think little bit and practice little bit. So this is the moment for that. And that is going to be a great benefit for you if you're able to little bit allow your mind to settle down. You no need to drop your any thoughts. You no need to drop your any will or the desire, achievements, goals in conventionally that we have dreams. Keep that everything. But just for a few minutes, for your own good, allow little bit to settle down. Just try to experience that also. Because this busyness that we already experiencing, then how about the calmness, tranquility state? Just try to experience that also a little bit. So how you can do that? So in the beginning, we follow the primary mental object, that is our inhalation, exhalation. Stay with it. And just know when the inhalation, exhalation happen, just recognize it. And in the beginning, separately recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. And then follow the entire continuation. This is the beginning, middle, end. And while you observing that way, you may see some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, so like that. Just recognize it. Always remember, mind doesn't have any formal structure or the pattern or method. So whatever available, the mental condition, it go with it. So then it is your responsibility. If you look for a calmness, relaxed, comfortable mind, then make it available in the present moment, then the mind going to be like that. Because of the habitual pattern that we already built up, sometimes mind go here and there. It is okay, don't worry about it. Once you recognize, keep your attention to the inhalation exhale, because when your attention become weaker, the mind again start to go away. But it's going to settle down little by little. So that is tranquility state. And from there, once the mind settle down, your body, breathing, mind, thoughts, everything will settle down to one. And that is where mind become more sharp and clear. So from that moment, we're going to observe the vipassana meditation. So in that vipassana, we keep the same inhalation, exhalation. And today we're going to observe the four elements: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness within our inhalation, exhalation. So within your sensation. When the sensation happens, see what is available. Don't try to look yourself. Is there this quality, or see what available for you to recognize in the way, because this all the four things going to be there. But moment by moment, sometimes heat become higher, and sometimes motion become more stronger, and sometimes liquidity become more stronger, and sometimes hardness become more stronger. It's second by second, thought, it's moment by moment can happen. So in this very moment, you feel that breathing is kind of like heavy. And in the same inhalation, in the beginning, you feel heaviness. and then the end of that, you feel heat. So like that, the same inhalation, because it has all four qualities. And sometimes moment by moment, one becomes stronger, and the exhalation the same. So whatever available for you in the very first moment when you observe, see, when the feelings arise, how you recognize it as a feeling. You need one of this out of the this out of four this. So four qualities: heat, motion, liquidity, or hardness. Otherwise, you cannot recognize the sensation. You need one. So just be aware and see what you get. And once you get it, and then don't hold it to it, and just go with it and see what next you're going to see. And maybe for in the beginning, for few seconds, few moment, maybe few breathings, you see the same quality. And then later, maybe as example, inhalation, you feel more heavy. Exhalation, you feel more heat, because when it come out of the body, and sometimes the bodily heat come with the exhalation, and then that become more strong. So like that, the moment by moment, whatever the sensation come out of this four, and then see what it is, what you can recognize. And then, so remember, as always, mentally completely be free, and don't try to follow any pattern or method, or don't try to use any techniques. Just completely be free and observe and see what you recognize. And then other thing is, don't try to add your experience moment by moment. So it kind of like you creating a continuation. No, each and every moment, take it separately. So with that, in moment by moment, you follow the inhalation, exhalation, and sometimes your entire bodily movement you can see, and it's still just see the four, and be focused to the four elements and recognize that. So with that, we're going to practice a little bit. And your right palm on your left, and neck straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And bring your attention to your body. And observe your whole body and scan head to toes and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the inhalation, exhalation, and later, and bring your attention to the four elements: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness within your inhalation and exhalation. So deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please. And find the sensation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Just allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. And recognize inhalation, exhalation separately. Let everything to settle down as it is. Focus your mind to inhalation, exhalation, and follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So if you see that, just accept it. Don't interfere with the inhalation, exhalation. Allow it to happen naturally as it is. Keep focus your mind to inhalation, exhalation, and see the four elements. Bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe, and as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, our main purpose of this practicing meditation, and through this all the practice, we're looking for the ultimate truth. And in this journey, it is very important to understand the condition of the mind and the behavior of the mind. So when it comes to that, it is very important to understand the nature of the four elements. So as you know, our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind always depending from perception. So the perception, this outside world, everything related to heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So mostly we hear it as the quality exists in this outside world with this material world. Conventionally, that understanding is okay. But when it comes to deeper vipassana level of understanding and practice, you have to remember this heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. These four elements are the quality of your mind. Because without these four, your mind cannot understand anything. So it's, if, as example, if your mind is the spider, the mind create the web using the four elements. It is actually when it come to vipassana level, not in conventional level, it is not for arguments. In conventional level, you can make any arguments out of this. But when it come to the vipassana level of understanding, even when you that study the sutras related to these teachings, scriptures that you recognize, those are the mental qualities that we carry: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. It is nothing to do with the outside world. So how far you see through the telescope, or how tiny things that you magnify through the microscope. So all this universe you can capture it by four elements. So as you know that our mind always follow the thoughts. So that mind always grab things according to name and form. So whatever appears, anything appear as a form, it has a name. It come with the name. It is not, it come late, first something appear first and the name come later. No, it's both appear at once. So we need the name and form to recognize anything. So when the name and form exists, it's outside world, your mind use heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness to recognize the quality of this outside world. Another thing is, when this heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness arise, and when the mind has these qualities, what is happening? It gives birth to another 4 qualities. That is, one thing is the colors, varna, the colors. So that's why without colors, you cannot understand anything. So it is a mental quality. So as example, you say something as green. So it doesn't exist as green. The outside world doesn't have green. If the outside world exists something as green, all the animals and all other people, they should see it as green. But as you know, if somebody has some kind of that the disability with the eye, maybe that person cannot see it like that way. But if the outside something exists as green, then why other animals cannot see it like that way? So that there are some other animals, they cannot capture the colors, they can capture only the heat. So like that, the one is your 4 elements. When the 4 elements arise in the right way, with that suddenly it gives the birth to colors, varna. And not only that, it gives birth to smell, gandha, aroma. So the aroma doesn't exist in the outside. It is a mental quality. So as example, perfume. So you just spray the perfume and tell, oh, this is very good. So you grab something as a smell, and then another person go and spray it, and then that person say, I don't like this. So then if the perfume exists in the same aroma, the both people should feel the same. But why that both people get the different smell? So that means the smell that you get not in the outside. There is a smell outside, but to capture it through your mind, that out of these 4 elements that giving birth to the aroma inside your mind is so personal to you. So another thing is, as you know, that according to the gender, male, females, and sometimes for children, it is a different kind of aroma. And even the animals, they can smell different ways. So that means even though something exists the outside, but when it comes to your experience, it becomes something else. So, and out of this give birth, your heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, these 4 elements govern this all the experience. That's what you have to understand. And it happening inside your mind. Another thing is taste. When you grab the four elements right away, it gives taste. Anything in this universe. So there is a taste exit. So that taste come out of the four elements. Another one is the oja. So the oja means it's kind of like the energy. So that also come out of the four elements. So that is your world. There's nothing beyond these 8 qualities in this universe. Heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. Another thing is the smell, taste, and the energy and the colors. So those are the come out of this four element. The colors and the smell or the aroma and the taste and the energy. So what you understand mean you understand these 8 qualities. It's kind of like the keys, keyboard in the music keys. See that the 7 keys out of these 7, and this all the music you build, and you can every day you can create a different kind of art, and it's not going to be same. So same like this entire universe arise out of these 8 qualities. So there is nothing that can go beyond these 8 qualities. And the thing is this, why this is important, because if you think something as permanent, and if you see something as kind of like a solid or soul, and exit something continuously, when you recognize the very nature of these 4 elements, or if you increase it to 8, if you recognize very clearly the very nature of the 8 elements, if you see that, and all the permanent things, soul, and the immortal things, these all the ideas going to disappear. So this is kind of like a key that you can use. Why we have to use this key? The recognition of the nature of these 4 elements, the behavior of the 4 elements, because we go with the knowledge mainly conventionally. So the knowledge is belong to thoughts and the people's experience. So we are so crazy to collect the knowledge. The collecting knowledge means we are so addicted to collect ideas. Receiving, gathering, receiving, holding, collecting. We kind of like, we deposit all the ideas we like to hear and deposit it. It is called memory. And when we relate it with the ideas and thoughts, what is happening that our mind cannot catch the nature of the 4 elements. Why? Because mind involving with the ideas, thoughts, and then it go away from the it original nature. So once you start to focus and recognize the behavior of the 4 elements, what is happening naturally, your mind not going to depend from ideas. Remember, the ideas always, it's kind of like imitation. The experience of the 4 elements, The understanding, it because you cannot understand the four elements as ideas. It is related to the dharma. You build, your inbuilt nature is these four elements. And if you go to 8, you are inbuilt with this. So when you recognize the nature of the four elements, mean you recognize you. So the dharma is you. There is not the dharma as this outside world. You are the dharma. You are the truth. So then in the vipassana, that's why contemplating body, look, there's nothing, you go and investigate anything about the under the sea or the far away the sky to attain to enlightenment. Contemplating the body, you see the nature of the body, and the contemplating the feelings and contemplating the thoughts and the contemplating the dhamma. So the dhamma or the nature, so it's the behavior of this natural process. That whatever the path you take, it take you to recognize the nature of the four elements. What is the nature of the four elements? So it is a mental behavior. It is a mental quality. So it's always change. Your mind can understand the change by using the four elements, because if there is no four elements, then you're not going to recognize anything, and even it doesn't matter anymore. Why? Because if there is something not belong to four elements, that means it is belong to Nibbana. So then it's not going to become something. So when you say something, that means it belongs to four elements. So it is behavior of your mind. So what does that mean? If it is a mental quality, so you use these mental qualities to recognize this world. And if something not belong to these four elements, is not going to belong to your world. So that's mean you are the four elements. That's mean you are the world. So even though you see this outside, of course there is something exists outside, but that everything part of you is everything part of you. That everything part of you mean that is why that you exist with these four elements. Because just just keep the boundary as your body, your boundary, and in this boundary line, if you release all the four elements, and anymore you're not going to exist. So until that you have this, all these four elements govern this body, you belong to this world. So then another way, you are the world is you. So this both way, there's no, that's why in the vipassana, you come out of the dualistic mind. There's nothing you can separate. So, but when it comes to self-centered mind, the worst thing it does, it always separates us. That separation leads us to comparison, compare. That comparison brings us all the greed, hatred, anger, delusion, this everything. So that is this deeper level of mechanism of this all. But if you cannot go by details out of this all the world, the nature, just go and recognize the nature of the four elements, and you will see the impermanent and the unsatisfactory nature and the selflessness. Those are the very nature of the four elements. So when you observe anything, that's mean, even though it appear through name and form, that anything, your mind grabbed by four elements. So without that, you cannot grab anything. So that's mean your mind is the main component or the main elements that your mind exists, govern four elements. Those are the you use to experience the world. But in conventionally, what we study that the four elements as the outside worldly nature. No, in the Vipassana, it is nothing to do with the outside. This outside world you grab through the four elements that you govern in your mind. So then, if you deeply understand within your own experience the very nature of the four elements, you will understand the entire universe. And also, you will understand whatever eons backward, and even whatever the timeline that people bring to the future, that everything right away you will grab and you will recognize its inherent nature. So that is a kind of like a tool that you can advance, you can maximize, you can master. So then yourself in day-to-day life, whatever you experience, just in that moment, even when you grab a cup of tea, plate, spoon, knife, or anything, whatever the tool, and the pen, so anything, just see that how you recognize that and mentally start to observe that material thing, whatever you hold, and how these four elements the govern in your hand and giving the information regarding whatever that thing. So as example, I hold this pen rather than thinking about, so the conventional life, this is what they govern the pen as a separate entity and thinking this is belong to the outside world, the material world. But when you grab it, this grabbing, this holding part, bringing you something that is so personal to you. So as example, what I grab this, the weight, the tightness, and the color what I see, and the smell what I get, heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. Another thing is the color, smell, or the aroma, or the taste. If I bite this, there is a taste going to be, and the energy. So what I grab, and if there is a 10-year-old child, when they grab that, they're going to see completely different way. So that's mean according to this all the 8 elements govern in my body, in my mind, giving the necessary information according to that element. So whatever you grab, so as example that if there is the heavyweight bodybuilder, and if they grab this one, it's completely going to be different experience. So like that, the moment by moment, whatever the world that you experience, that experience that come to you through the 4 elements. So if you able to see the nature of the 4 elements, you recognize the change. When you recognize that change, you no need any other dharma to understand this, the world or the truth, and you will see that that everything belongs to this universe, whatever appear to you, and you're going to see the true nature of it. So that is a beautiful way of experiencing the world, but you have to practice little bit. Why? Because we used to understand things through words and through experience through lessons, through lectures, documentaries. So like that, we already condition our mind to gain the knowledge. But that why in Vipassana, observing and recognizing is completely different way of understanding. So the conventional understanding is important, but to attain to the nibbana or to gain the liberation, there is no any other way. You have to come to the direct perception, clear comprehension, or completely without thoughts to observe and experience, recognize. So that is the method to gain the liberation. So little by little, you have to practice yourself and experience somehow. And in the beginning, give a start, and then you will see. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata ammi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.